Hello everyone. So this time I'm going to show you how you can go from an idea to a production app using only a few tools. So the idea here will be a simple app that is similar to a Pokedex from Pokemon. But instead of scanning Pokemons, you will be scanning animals and generating collectible cards. So if you don't know what a Pokedex is, it's from the Pokemon cartoon, and the idea is that you would have this device and you would scan the Pokemons and get information from them and also collect them on your, let's say, device. Similar, because Pokemon is also very famous because of the collectible cards. The idea of the app is that you're going to scan the animal and also generate a collectible card. So the idea is quite simple. We are going to mainly use a few tools: Stitch, AI Studio, and Antigravity. Stitch, if you don't know it, is just this tool that generates UI elements very easily from prompts. AI Studio, you can generate basically anything using the models that are available there. Text, images, so it really depends on what you are going to do. So we will be using both the models and also the build feature, which allows you to generate apps, basically vibe code them from the interface. And then we are going to move it to Antigravity, which is the IDE. They have both the IDE and also the vibe coding app that you use on your machine. But I'm going to use the IDE just to move from vibe coded app to an IDE where I can get fine-tune and fine-grade the elements to move it to production. Okay, so let's get started. First, we'll go here from Stitch. This is basically the interface that we are going to use. I can choose here between web app and mobile app, which is the case that I'm going to do here. I can select the model that I'm going to use. I'm probably going to use the Flash model. And for the prompt, because I'm not really sure what's the best way to prompt the model, I'm going to use AI Studio. So I can go here, go to Gemini Flash. I can basically describe the app that I'm going to create and ask Gemini to create a prompt for me. Okay, so here I have the prompt for Gemini to ask me. I have a basic description of what I want on the prompt, the target tool, which is Google Stitch, and a rough idea of the screens that I want for my app. So let's run it and get the output. Okay, so here's the output. It looks good, so I will copy and paste it in Stitch. Okay, so here is the initial output from Stitch. Looks quite good. You can see that I created the logo here, all the palette, all the assets here for the app, and created the 4 screens that I wanted. The one for the user to log in, the main screen of the app, the collectible card would be looking in something like this, and here is the screen, the scanning screen. You can see that it's even animated here. So from here I can either accept it or maybe I can do a few changes. Let's do a few changes just to see how it looks like. So in this case, I probably don't want to use a limited number here, like 150, because I'm not sure how many animals exist. So let's remove it. Also, I want to have the login screen support for Google authentication login, so it's easier for the users. The rest, I think it looks quite good. Maybe I just want also the card here to look a little bit more animated in a cartoonish way, similar to the Pokemon cards. So I will just add this to the prompt and see how it goes. Okay, so I added my prompts here, or the modifications that I want for the 3 screens, and you can also see that together with the prompt, I added an image here, which is a Pokemon card just for the app to have a reference. Okay, let's keep it here. It also supports me to copy the image and do modifications here. So you can see that I added this here, but I'm going to remove. And let's see the second version. Okay, so you can see here the output. They created something a little bit similar to what I wanted. What I did is that it updated this page here to include the Google login and also made the change that I requested here, but for this specimen card, it created like a second version. This is interesting because I can just keep track of the iterations that I did. So that is just one more thing that I probably want to share here. It added, as you can see, like powers or abilities to the image. This is not what I really want, so I just remove it because I don't want to create like a trade carding game. I remove the small things that I don't want there. Okay. So the next step is just to actually start vibe coding the app. And for this, what I can do is I have two options. There is a bunch of features here. I won't go through them because I just want to go through the workflow simply. But one interesting thing is that at least the preview. So I'll click on the preview and choose the mobile option. Okay, let's see. This is the main screen. If I click login, I can go to the second one. I have some animals pre-scanned. If I click on this one, I go to the other one, back to the collection. If I click on scan, go to the scanning room. Once I scan the animal, it goes back here, collection. Okay, yeah, looks quite good. Yeah, so this is quite good because I can kind of generate this preview and see how the app would look like. It's looking good, so let's start to create the app. I will select all the screens that I want. Oh, so if I wanted, I could just kept the old ones. And then I will export them to AI Studio. So there are other options. I can export to these other tools here. Well, let's go to AI Studio. Okay, so during the exporting, I can also add a prompt here so that AI Studio will know how to generate my app. So what I will do is that I will go back to AI Studio and also ask it to create a prompt for me. So maybe I can even reuse this one. So let's just add a new prompt. Okay, so what I added is just I'm going to ask Gemini to create the prompt to create the code for the app. And I have added descriptions here of the features of the app. Okay, so I got a prompt here. It's looking good enough. So I will copy, go back to Stitch, and put it here. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so here AI Studio returned a few things so that I can select which one I prefer. So you can see here on the left that it's asking me to enable Firebase Store. It's because I'm going to use a database. So I'm going to enable it and it will keep prompting. In the meantime, it presented me a few options for the design of the app. So I have this one, this other one. So I don't know, I don't really like this one. I think it's a little bit too code related. So let's skip this one and see what it comes up next. By the way, something that was released sometime a couple of months ago on Google I/O is that on AI Studio you can actually build an app and export it, publish into if it's an Android app. So in my case, I'm not going to build an Android app because I'm using an iPhone, so iOS. So I won't be using this option, but if it was the case, I could just vibe code the app, build it, and also deploy it online, only using the tool. So let's go back to AI Studio. So I finally finished building here. So it can say use that style. We can maybe change it a little bit later, but it went for a little bit over 10 minutes. Actually, it was not only this time, and it created something like this for me. So something interesting about AI Studio is that at the bottom here, it adds some tips if I want to see add any of these new features. Well, let's see how it goes. Okay, I logged in and used my Google account. I can go to my collection. There is nothing here. I can go to settings, deactivate my Google account. number of species, the hierarchy of the card. That's quite interesting. I can choose between languages. Let's keep English. Speech raise, so something about the voices, UI haptics. Okay, so let's go to scan. So I could either use my camera. So in this case, I'm just testing vibe coding into my desktop machine. So I will just drag a picture of an animal here. Okay, so let's initialize the scan. Okay, it generated here the card. So this one is a legendary. It added a name, Duke Noodle. I guess it's good enough. It got some information about the cat. I can export the card, and I have some information about the cat. Card environment. Let's put desert. So it changes a little bit. So this is something that I have not prompted the app to do, but it did it. Let's see.
Bioscan complete. Specimen is a narwhal. Scientific designation Monodon monoceros. Physical scale 4 to 5 meters 800 to 1,600 kilograms. Behavioral patterns include deep marine diving, social pod migration, acoustic echolocation vocalizations, special biofact.
Okay, so actually it generated all of this stuff, it generated the audio, but it's quite clear that it has not really scanned the cat, right? So I think it was a narwhal. Let me see what's a narwhal. So it thought that the cat was actually one of these. So I think it's like hard coded probably because it was too fast. So it probably was not prompting the animal or anything. So let's see if I click on export card. Yeah, that asks me if I can just download the image. Okay, I can go here and register. Yeah, for some reason it's not synchronizing on my database. But anyway, so this is the first version of the app. Let's ask for a few changes. So, okay, so I'm going to ask the code to update the style to look a little bit more like Pokemon. So it's not like this, a bit code related. And also, instead of automatically hard coding the output and also the voice, I'm going to ask it to, once it has the image of the animal, just call Gemini to generate the information here, and also call Gemini TTS, text to speech, to generate the audio. Okay, so let's see how it goes. You can also see that it noticed that there are 3 errors that were generated while I was using the app. So it keeps the logs of the errors that happen, and I can just click here. But let's first update the app. Okay, so it's finally finished. So we can say it looks a little bit more like a Pokedex. You can see it through the options here. So let's go back and try again. Okay, let's try with the same cat. Now you can see that it's going through this loading bar. It probably should be calling the backend Gemini app, and it's done. So it's a little bit different. I got the information here correct this time. A cat. Okay, let's see. Let's hear. So the audio is not online yet, so maybe it's still calling the audio app. Let's wait a little bit more.
Bioscan complete.
Okay.
Specimen name, domestic tabby cat. Scientific designation, Felis catus.
Okay, so I can still see that it was not able to save into the database, and I should also be able to like stop the audio if I wanted. So as we can see, AI Studio already logged some of the errors, probably it logged the database thing. So let's click on fix and see how it goes. Okay, so it's supposed to have fixed the error. Let's see how it goes with a different animal. Okay, nice. So I can see here, can go between screens and go to the animal.
Bioscan complete. Specimen name, axolotl. Scientific designation, Ambystoma mexicanum.
Okay, so maybe just a few extra things to make sure it's working properly. One is that I wanted to call both models before showing me the output and be able to stop the audio. It already detected an error here. Uh, Probably it's one of those things. So let's try again. Okay, so you can see that I provided information two different ways. One with a clear definition of what I wanted done, and another one just describing an issue. So hopefully AI Studio will be able to fix both of them. Okay, so the app is back. Let's try once more. Okay, loading is taking a little bit more, so it looks like this time it will only go back with the audio.
Bioscan complete. Specimen name, domestic kitten. Scientific.
Okay, good. Now it acted the way that I wanted. I can also stop the audio at any time.
Bioscan complete. Specimen name, domestic.
Awesome. Let's add it to the database. You can see here that I have both of them. Okay, so now it's looking good enough. I could keep iterating here on AI Studio, just adding new features, refine it a little bit, or I can just move to the next one, which is the further deployment on Google Antigravity. One thing that I also have here on AI Studio is the ability to share or publish it. Share it just to create like a public link to this specific app here. I could include chat history or change it a little bit how people will see it, but I also have this publish option. Okay, so the app is now public. So this is one way that we can just make it more prod ready. It created here an app URL, Gemini API, and I can just unpublish or change it a little bit. So let's see how it goes now that it's public. I will try to access it on my cell phone. Okay, so here I'm using this iPhone mirroring app, and I using my browser here to access that option. Okay, so it's here. Let's see if it loaded from the database. Okay, so I loaded here the scans that I had from that I did on my app, on my browser. Nice. So maybe this is the simplest way to go from the idea to actually vibe coding an app and publishing it so that other people can access. The other way that you can do it is just to move this to your IDE so that you can actually do the code development, not in the vibe coding way, but in the regular way. You can go here also in the code if you want to change the code or edit in some other ways, but the experience of the IDE is a little bit different. So I will show you how you can do this as well. So there are two ways, actually a few ways that you can do it. One is just to export this code to your machine, maybe download it and load it with the IDE. Another way, maybe it's a little bit even simpler if you're going to host this code anyway, is just go here to the options, go to GitHub and sync it with GitHub so you can keep the code there. This is the way that I'm going to do it, and then we'll get back to Antigravity. Okay, now that we have the GitHub extension added, I added the repository name, maybe a brief description. For now, it will be a private repository until I finish everything. Later, I will make it public. You can see all of the files that will be added here. Let's add it there. Let's see in GitHub. Great, I can already see the app here. It added some brief description. And from here, what I can do is just to open Antigravity and start the coding there. And this is what we are going to do next. Okay, once we talk about Antigravity, we have different flavors for the product. So we have the Antigravity CLI and SDK, which is self-explanatory. We have the Antigravity 2.0, which is like the vibe coding experience, and it looks like this. So it's just a panel with the screen with my projects, conversations, and I can basically vibe code anything that I want to do here. It's just a simpler version, more designed and tailored for vibe coding. And we also have the Antigravity IDE, which is basically just a classic IDE. And it's the one that I'm going to use here. So now that we have our project hosted at GitHub, we can just come here at the IDE and close the repository. Okay, so now we have the repository here. So you can see that it basically looks like a regular IDE. At the Antigravity IDE, you have the regular, so it's kind of very similar to VS Code actually, super similar to VS Code. You have your Explorer here, search functions, extensions. You can also install all of the extensions and all the other things that a VS Code would have. On the right side here, you have the agent chat, which you can turn on and off, and you also have your extensions and everything else. So this was our workflow. We started with Stitch on the web browser, then also on the web browser we used Google AI Studio on the build feature, and now we have transferred our project to start working on the IDE using Antigravity IDE. But the Antigravity IDE, they also have the MCP support for Stitch here. So basically what I could have done is just to configure the Stitch on my extensions on my IDE. So I have Cursor, Antigravity, VS Code, and a few others. But I could just have added it there and use the Stitch MCP. So basically I would just be prompting the agent to create the UI and just skip the app here. In my case, I prefer to do it here because I think it's more intuitive and it's easier to do the fine-tuning, fine adjustments of the UI. But we could also have skipped the AI Studio build feature. So probably if I have to do it again, for a personal project, I would just create the UI on Stitch on the web browser, then export the generated assets to Antigravity, and from Antigravity, because I prefer a more IDE person, I would just do the coding and all of the app development there, also the prototypation and exporting it to be a production app. Okay, so let's go back to Antigravity. Okay, once we have the project here, I could do all kinds of things. I can just go here to the agent chat and do some more iterations, test the app and everything else that I wanted to do here with all the features that we have for Antigravity. And once we are done, what we could do is just to update the app. So if we go here to AI Studio, we can take a look at the settings here and in the Publish tab, and I can go into the advanced settings. So it will take me to my Google Cloud account, and if I click here on sources, I can see that the app, this Cloud Run instance is linked to AI Studio. So I can even go here to take a look at my other projects. Right, you can see the FaunaDex here, but what I can also do is just click here to connect a repository and connect to my GitHub repository here that we have created, and we are also doing more changes and more implementations using Antigravity. So I would just keep iterating on Antigravity, update this repository here, and on my Cloud Run, I would link it to my repository. So that would be the full cycle from idea, prototypation, and then actual implementation and deploying the app in production. So this was what I wanted to do. Of course, this is just a simple demo with a simple product, but the concept will be the same. And I'm just trying to show the tools and how you can achieve that in a simple and easy way, just using these simple Google tools, but you can plug and play with anything that you like and fits more your needs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I see you in the next one.